Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, especially since this is a general reading. All right, I have to, that one went flying. Okay. So we had these two cards just came out, and we have the 10 of Cups and we have the 4 of Swords. And I really like this because I feel like it's putting yourself in the energy of the 10 of Cups and to think about what is your 10 of Cups and putting yourself in that energy and having it come to fruition. As we can see, there's a person that's lying here. And we have them dreaming about becoming a knight. So kind of like this could be a page and this is becoming a knight, or it's a knight becoming a king. So it's about, and I feel like this represents that 10 of Cups and represents, what does that feel like? What does that represent for you? What does that embody for you? And I feel like it's taking that time out to focus on that and to put yourself in that energy. For some reason, I feel like you're struggling and I feel like you're having a hard time. And I feel like you're thinking about like negative things and you keep replaying something that is negative and you keep putting yourself in that energy. For some reason, that's what I'm feeling. And I feel like the cards are coming out to tell you to put yourself in the energy of this 10 of Cups, even though you may not, like you're feeling like you don't have that 10 of Cups and you feel like that's not going to happen for you. I feel like it's taking that time to yourself and having that quiet time. And that could represent meditation. It could just represent that quiet time. So this morning I went out, I woke up at 4:44. And so I was like, I decided I wanted to go out on my patio because it's nice and quiet. And I just love the way it is outside at that hour. And I was out there. And then when I came in, the clocks on the stove said 5:11. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I was out there and I was just thinking about, I was thinking about my 10 of Cups. So I feel that this represents taking that quiet time to yourself and thinking about that 10 of Cups and putting yourself in that energy. And I know that it's hard when you feel like you're struggling, and especially at this time of year where we feel like we have a lot going on, where we feel like we have a lot of responsibilities. We have the holidays coming up, and sometimes that can be stressful. Sometimes that can come with stress. It's maybe being in situations or family members that, maybe we feel uncomfortable with. But I feel like the cards are saying to take that time and put yourself in that energy of the 10 of Cups. I'm going to grab my energy oracle cards and I'm going to pull a card for you. All right. So we have the Magician and the Mirror. And the Magician and the Mirror is about empowering yourself and the magic that you have within yourself and believing within yourself the power that you have. And look in the mirror, it's like reflecting back to you. The energy that you put out reflects back to you. So if you're putting out negative energy, if you're putting out, all of the stress and all of the worry that you have, that's going to come back to you. But if you take that time to think about your 10 of Cups and you put that energy out there, that's the energy that's going to come back to you, right? That you have the power to change your thought, to change what it is that you're thinking about. Take control over your mind. Take control over what it is that you think about, okay? That you have that power. Take a step back and center yourself and say, okay, if you feel that things are getting out of control, how can you gain that back under control? What are those things that you can tell yourself, right? That you feel like, okay, it's going to be okay. I need to switch where I'm focusing. I need to switch what I'm focusing on. And to realize that you have that power within yourself to switch that. You have to believe in the power that you have within yourself. If you don't believe that, then that's where you're going to struggle. Like, you have to believe the power that you have within yourself. All right. Let's grab a wisdom of the oracle. All right. So we have regeneration. So I feel like even though you've gone through this, where you feel like, that's when we learn the most, is when we feel like we're at wit's end, where we're at the bottom of the barrel, where we feel like we've been torn down. Because you know what? It's tearing away the negativity. It's tearing away those things that don't serve you. It's causing you to open your eyes. I was listening to, I can't remember his last name, Lewis. It's the something of greatness. I'm the worst at remembering. But I watched a video with him. I actually watched it, I think, 3 times yesterday. And last night, instead of watching TV, I actually listened to the video and I actually took notes. And he was interviewing Joe Dispenza. And it just made so much sense to me. And Joe Dispenza was saying about how it takes trauma, it takes a hard time, it takes difficulty in order for us to realize that we need to change. And Lewis was like, why can't we change when we feel like things are good? Because it's almost like we go on autopilot and we don't really think about it. But it's like Joe Dispenza was like, just human nature, that it's when you're going through your hardest times is when you realize that, okay, I don't want to accept this anymore. I don't want to be like this anymore. And that's when you want to embrace the change the most. And I feel like that's where you're at. And I feel like this goes perfect with that, because it's like taking that time and you feel like you are really struggling and you feel like you're at your lowest, but it's empowering yourself with the magician and the mirror and the magic and the power that you have to regenerate yourself. But when you start to regenerate, that you become stronger, that you become better, that you realize what it is that you want to accept, what it is that you want to let go, what it is that you want to, right? That you want to make those changes, that this time around, you're like, I want to do things differently. I don't want to do things the way that they were because that wasn't working for me. And I want to be in this 10 of Cups energy, right? That I want things to change, and I want things. You have to want that within yourself, and you have to believe in that, and you have to empower yourself, right? That there are things that maybe you have to peel away. There are things that you have to let go of. And it's that reflection. What are you reflecting back to yourself? That's what you have to look at. What is that energy? What are you telling yourself? What are you reflecting back on yourself, right? And that when you start to regenerate, what are the things that you need to change, but what are the things that you need to embody? Let's grab a animal oracle. We have this one. I love it. Be loyal to what you love. What do you love? Sit down and take a piece of paper and write down, what do you love? Be loyal to what you love. What do you love? What brings you? Okay, so this kind of goes back right to that 10 of Cups, right? Because that represents, what do you love? What feels comfortable? What feels cozy? What makes you feel safe? These are the things that you have to do, that you have to sit down and that you have to figure out, that you have to have this, right? Maybe you're so busy with your day that you're on autopilot, that you're not even thinking about what you love, that you just keep going in this cycle again and again and again. Like you're just going through your day on autopilot and you're not really thinking about each decision that you make, each choice that you make, each thing that you're doing throughout your day to look for different opportunities to change that pattern. So I feel like with this one, be loyal to what you love. Take that quiet time to yourself and write those things down. And what do you love to do? And when you're regenerating, when you're coming back to life, right? Because if you feel that you're kind of at the bottom of the barrel and that you're not reflecting back positive to yourself, when you're regenerating, focus on the things that you love, being loyal to what you love. Be loyal to those people that you love being around. Be loyal to, like, what do you love about your living space? What do you need to change about your living space? What do you love about your day? What do you love about your eating habits or your, just the things that you do throughout the day, your job? Do you love your job? If you don't, then is that something you need to focus on and you need to change? Do you love your financial situation? If you don't, is that something that you need to change? Right? Is there something that you need to start focusing on? Are you always do you love yourself? Be loyal to what you love. Love yourself first and be loyal to yourself and say, I'm not going to put myself in situations that are going to make me feel that I'm tearing myself down, that I'm working against myself. And to be loyal, that's where it starts. This is like putting on your oxygen mask first. You know how I always say, like when you're on the plane, that they always say, put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you can help other people. So I feel like this is putting your oxygen mask on yourself and being loyal to what you love, which is loving yourself, to surround yourself with positive energy and positive things and loving yourself enough to not put yourself in situations that make you feel uncomfortable. This is something that is going to take time for you to make those adjustments. And I feel like just writing those things down and figuring out what are those things that I want to change or I need to change to show myself that I love myself. And to say in your mind, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. That's what I did this morning. I had gotten up, like I said, and I was out on my patio and I came back and I just repeated that in my head, like, I don't even know how many times. And I felt this surge of positivity. I started smiling. I started feeling this warmth. I started feeling good within myself. And it gave me this energy. And do you tell yourself that you love yourself enough? Do you do that? And when you love yourself, you make choices that continue that love in your life. And I feel like that's something that you need to look at. That's something that you need to focus on. And sometimes we just get on autopilot and we're just like, well, it is what it is and I'm just going to accept it and I'm going to let it go. Is that truly loving yourself? Is that regenerating in a new way? Is that really bringing in that 10 of Cups for yourself? I feel that I personally think, and I'm not a doctor or a therapist, but just by what I've been going through, is that making the biggest change is asking yourself these questions and saying, am I truly doing things that bring love back to me? Right? Just like I said with the magician in the mirror, what are you putting out? Are you putting out love to yourself to receive love back into yourself? Is that what you're doing? Sometimes we have to really think about that. And I feel like that's what this reading is about, is thinking about that, right? Is thinking about that. Take that time when you're doing the rebuilding to reflect back the 10 of Cups, reflecting that back to yourself. Empower yourself to reflect back that 10 of Cups and be loyal to what you love. Sometimes we have to be selfish. We have to be selfish. Again, being selfish is putting our own oxygen mask on ourselves first. And that's what you need to do. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. definitely something to think about. When we start thinking in this way, then things start to fall into place and they start to make more sense. All right. I hope this helped you in some way. Thank you so much for being here, especially if you're still hanging in there with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.